Hey, welcome to our house, Church Unusual, where we say namaste. I see God in you, you see God in me, and I want you to come back to stay. Welcome to our house. Hey, hey, Church Unusual, where we say namaste. I see God in you. Hey, you see God in me. And we want you to come back to stay. That is very nice, Ja. Speaking of Ja, who is the sweetest producer who hugs like a teddy bear? Extraordinaire. Hi, Ja Laundry.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
That was a nice touch, baby. What was that?
My phone being connected to my mixer.
Oh, was that planned?
Yeah, that was my phone ringing. I got the generic ringtone.
Oh, that is so creative. Oh God, I know your wife is so happy about your sex life. I know.
Not because of my phone. My
No,
phone.
but your ability to create, it has to transcend to your penis, I'm sure.
Sure, but that's a generic ringtone. I didn't do that.
He said, sure. I caught the sure.
My ringtone. All right, no. I didn't create that. I'm just saying. I can't take credit for that.
No, but okay, you don't get it. Me and Anissa
Are you
got it.
saying, Gina, that he's multitasking? So, that's indicative of his, you know.
No. What I'm saying that his creativity must transcend to his dick. I believe that. Married man, I'm not trying to talk about your dick, believe me. Wait, first of all, good morning, church. Who brought up the dick? Who did that?
Sister Fletcher?
Okay. You know what? You are a snitch. Just like Eve ate the apple. Good morning, Anissa Raimi, the light skinned lady. How are you, sweetheart?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
The chat, what's up, son? Before we do anything, we got to go to the throne of grace and ask God, who I brought with me, already here, but just want to acknowledge this dude or this female, whatever you want to call God, Jah, Allah, Buddha, Tao, Jesus, hey, whatever you want to call God. We just come and say, hey, we want to thank you for being so amazing. The power that makes things that are impossible possible. The power that can change lives. We thank you for anointing this service today. Be in the midst. We thank you for the house represented here. Money from unknown resources in the name of love. Everybody say,
Amen.
everybody say,
Amen.
everybody say.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. Woo, now that we got the prayer in the way, we want to talk to the bubbly effervescent. I wonder why she's so bubbly today. Y'all gonna see why in a minute. Let's get the welcome address from the evangelist, sister missionary,
Well,
Anissa
welcome
Raimi.
in, motherfuckers. It's Sunday. This is Church Unusual on Singing Gina TV every Sunday, right here on YouTube. I'm so happy to be here today.
Wait. Excuse me. Do you mind if we see you this morning for a second? Because you sound like you look just like a piece
Oh,
of fruit right now.
okay.
You sound like
I'm
you
a
look
peach.
delicious. Oh, you sound, look at what you have
Check out
on.
the Gina Fletcher merch.
You sound juicy and moist this morning.
I feel juicy and moist.
You have you sitting on a towel?
No,
Okay.
I'm not
'Cause
that moist.
well, I have to lately. I have to have towels on my chair. Well, I don't wear underwear. That's all. That's the reason why. Where'd you go, Miss? Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Miss? Hey, hey, Anissa Ray.
Can I finish the welcome?
Go ahead.
Okay. Welcome in, you guys. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming back. If this is your first time here, welcome to Church Unusual. We're here to enjoy, laugh, have fun, learn something. And, every now and then we praise God. The end.
Thank you, Anissa Raimi. She is she's an angel. We have a special show today. Extraordinary ordinary person. But before we do that, I would like for us to take a moment to think about the word of the day. The word of the day. It's a word that God gives me that emanates from out of my womb, through my throat, out of my mouth, and to your womb or your crotch, wherever you receive the word of God. Belly, wherever you see it, I have a word for the day. Are we ready for the word of the day? Look at my lips. I'm telling you, those are my lips. The word of the day is ELEVATE. 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 ELEVA. What it says, Anissa, elevate. The word of the day is elevate. The word of the day.
Elevate.
The word of the day.
Elevate.
ELEVATE. Elevate. What does that mean to you, Anissa? Elevate.
To rise up, motherfucker. Rise the fuck up.
Okay, Angela Davis. Okay. Sister Soldier. Elevate. Now, the purpose of the word of the day is not just to educate you and help you marinate on something to feed your spirit, but to try to use it throughout this whole experience. While you're in church, you want something to resonate. And that's what a preacher should do. Preachers have to do sermons where the person is marinating and what they call chewing on the food. You have to eat the word of God. It's called like eating the whole roll. It's like manna. You have to eat the word and it has to chew. And then when your spiritual teeth have made it to the point where you can digest it and inculcate it in your spirit, you're supposed to be transformed. The Bible said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It says that in the Bible. It says that. I know it says that. Be transformed. That's like elevate. Go up a little higher.
Yes.
Root your booty up higher. Put your pussy up higher. Put your heart higher. Put your desires. Elevate. Let's go. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Church Unusual. And we're about to introduce a person. Wait. I gotta stop. I gotta say something, y'all. We might need an advisory. There is a bitch on Instagram who was accusing a man of grabbing her breast, and she's never met him. There is a woman on Instagram who was accusing a man who has fortitude and stature of grabbing her breast, and he never met her. And unfortunately, we are living in a climate. What's that sound? I hear some humming sound. What's that?
I'm not sure.
Do
Hold
you
on.
hear it too? You hear it too?
I'll mute my mic. It might be on my side. I'll mute my mic. Hold on.
You hear it, Anissa too?
I do too. I'm wondering, is it my laptop? Because I do hear a
Do you
fan.
still hear it? Do you still hear it?
Not now. No.
All right, go ahead.
So I thought about this last night, and the reason why I'm making it so profound, because I was there in the live. The guy was talking to an arena of 3 people, and so I was in the comments. I was listening because the person whose live it was, they come to the live every day, so I wanted to support it. And a young lady came on the live and said, of course, she wasn't cammed up. She said that this gentleman who I know personally, been around him, in the car with him, hugged him, kissed him on the cheek, ate with him, smelled him, sniffed him, the whole nine. I know this brother. She said that he grabbed her breast 2 years ago, and she needed to say it now for some fucking reason. I said, why did you say it 2 years ago because I realized I put myself in a situation. So now, what if, first of all, what if I never met this man? What if I didn't know him personally? Because she was so passionate about the way she articulated it and enunciated it and almost had blow by blow this fucking description, she may have been believed. But because I know it was a prevarication, I know that I began to get enraged this morning. There is a climate. There is a climate of broken bitches who are accusing men of sexual assault. There is a climate. Sometimes money's not even involved. Sometimes there are women who are mad at their baby daddies and say, he hit me or pushed me. Yes, there are some women who are lying about that. But when you accuse somebody of sexual assault, the jacket, the coat, the stench, the smell stays with them for fucking ever. And the coup de grace is she never met this nigga. She never met him, John.
Then we know she's crazy.
That's wild.
But she can be believed by some people.
All time.
That's true.
She can be believed by some people. And that is a problem. Broken bitch boot camp. Broken bitch boot camp. I'm thinking about doing getting a house. So I'm gonna get somebody to sponsor that. I'm gonna get a house and have for a weekend women who are meant to being broken. Let's do a boot camp for a weekend. Let's have a conversation because it's too much. Just because you're mad at men. And here's the thing. If you are a heterosexual woman and you want to be with the man, but you're mad at them, go eat some pussy. Because angry pussy will make a man's life horrible. I'm telling you.
So who will qualify for this boot camp?
Women who lie on men, first of all, because they're very angry. Women who are so mad that they will keep their children from their father because they don't want to be with them. Women who are angry at their mamas, and most of them, there's some mothers who are accountable. Women who have been so mistreated physically, sexually as children and have carried that on, and are aware of it. And then their lack of awareness sometimes when it comes to their own stuff can be poison and fuck up dicks, fuck up hearts, fuck up reputations, fuck up livelihood, jobs. It's terrible to get accused of an essay. Just imagine that. That's terrible. People start looking at you different. Now, here's the thing I was thinking, Anissa and John. Just imagine if this man had been out with her on a date and nothing happened, but she was able to prove she was with him and she said he grabbed my breast. Who we gonna believe? We
Yeah.
must start,
we might believe her. We might consider what she's saying.
we might
You're right.
start looking at him differently or thinking about him saying, I wonder if he's a titty grabber. I start picturing him grabbing the titties out, and then if we're ever talking, I start looking at his hands and shit. I see my mind will start thinking about his demeanor, and then she says, yes, he was very aggressive towards me. Lies, garbage, and trash, biatch.
No, she
lying
needs to
on
get a
men.
life.
No, she needs to be charged with a crime.
Yeah, that is, she should.
I'm
be.
serious.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not right. Imagine me saying, yeah, I was at Ja, and he grabbed my. Listen, imagine if Ja becomes a billionaire producer, and I'm a broke ass bitch in the shelter, and I want to get some money, and I go to the president and I have to say, listen, I got videos of us together, me and him. Look how close when he was taking a picture of me, his hands was on my pussy. What if I did that? That's what some people do. I can say I got receipts. See how close he was to me? You see where his hands are?
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenter
in their current state of mind, which they have the right to change at any given moment. The iRant Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All opinions and train of thoughts are welcomed here and protected by the First Amendment and the Ranters Union.
All I'm saying is that your beautiful fat fingers could be seen, and somebody could say, yeah, he's fucking Auntie Gina. And all of a sudden, I come out with something, with a picture, and say, yes, yes, he was molesting me. Yes, all the time. That's why he did all this for me, because he wanted that sex. I mean, listen, a woman can make that shit up.
Yeah, creator forbid. Creator forbid. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
But
God. Thank God for women who champion and say, stop lying on men. Women, stop lying on men. Stop it.
so what do you think is going to happen? You think that it's going to be like one of those things where people don't believe women as much, or is going to get worse?
Well, what I think will happen is that some men will start saying, because some men just say, you know, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to court. I'm not going to. It should be a law. When you catch a woman in the lie, she should be penalized, especially if it affects your livelihood. But men just say, fuck it, I ain't going to court. I'm not going to file defamation of character. That's too much. That's some bitch shit. That's soft. That's moist. But I'm telling you, there should be something that makes a woman stop in her tracks before she says, you know, they're going to believe me. They're going to believe me. It's not fair. And there was a time when a woman's mouth was considered almost like Mother Earth, that she was seen as pure and nothing she said was wrong because she was a life giver. Now some men are questioning.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think it's going to get worse in that regards, or you think it's going to get less people are going to start lying, or more people are going to start lying?
I'm not Cleo, I'm not prophetic, but I do want to expose it because it's not fair. It's not fair. I got to find some way to campaign it because, listen, I'm a mother of a 34-year-old son. I wish a bitch would. And I'm going to tell you something. On the live today on Instagram, all our live, where we have Sunday school on Sunday mornings, I was on the live and I cammed up several brothers, and almost all the men on the live except for one had been accused of touching somebody and they never touched. Once a gay guy said he was accused, he don't even like pussy. He said that a girl accused him when he was in junior high school or something. Another guy was accused in high school, fucked up his whole life. He said it fucked me up for a long time. Another guy, lying, broken bitches. That's not right.
No, it's not.
Just make up shit. You have a son. Anissa has 4 sons.
Yeah, and you know, it's really that makes it even harder on women who actually have had some real issues with SA, and now they may not believe because so many broken bitches are out here lying. You broken bitches.
and listen, and I was raped 6 times. It was occupational hazard. I'm just saying that, right? And I didn't think I would be believed because I was cracking up. I was a crackhead, even though it wasn't my fault that I was. Well, I don't know. See, if I say that, then I get into a whole thing about fault. Of course, I didn't deserve to be raped, of course. But had I not jumped in this nigga's car that had an axe, and I didn't know who he was with one eye, you know, had I not went to this nigga's house knowing that he liked to smoke crack and he took my stem and hung me out the window, you know, maybe if I had not been outside at 4 o'clock in the morning with no panties on selling pussy, you know, it's not my fault that I was raped. But there are some variables that put me in a situation to make that shit possible to get to me. You feel me? So coming from a person who's been a victim, I still am champion men who are of substance and get accused of something because a person is mad at men. Because it's anger, because she never met the man. Never met him.
So how did that come out? That she never met him?
What do you mean? Oh, I talked to him, and I talked to the person who was hosting the live. I talked to him. He never met her. He said, "Gene, I never met her."
He didn't say that on the live.
Excuse me.
He didn't say that on the live.
Yes, he said on the line today. It happened today. It happened last night.
So what did she say to that?
She came to the live and I wouldn't come up. I called her. I said, "I'm talking to you, Miss Weirdo. I'm talking to you." She came to the live, wouldn't come up. Nope, she declined. He was there. He said, "I've never met her. She did not type. Yes, she did nothing. And then another live that she goes on regularly. I said, "Listen, tell the weird ass bitch what I said. Stop lying." Because that can mar, you know what that can do? And this person has a job where he's a bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Your bodyguard celebrities. You know what that could do to a motherfucker's career?
Yeah.
Because somebody else came on the live and said, yeah, she was saying that he's known for grabbing bitches' titties. I said, you see how it starts? You were there, Anissa?
Yeah.
That's terrible. They got me fucked up. I don't like that in the name of whatever.
Well, if you lose actual money in business from it, which is same as money, but if you lose business, that's how you can actually sue somebody for defamation.
And this bitch ain't got a pot to piss or a window to throw it out. Come on now. You gonna sue her? You know what I'm saying? It's not worth this. And that's the thing. There's no money involved. It's just a person's character and reputation, all because you are mad from the inside out.
And that's no way to elevate.
I can appreciate. That's no way to elevate. So,
well, salute to you for bringing light to it.
Yeah.
oh, honey, listen, I'm on a campaign. I want a broken bitch boot camp.
And
That sounds dangerous, though. Broken bitch boot camp sounds
does.
dangerous as hell.
I won't be there.
Broken nest boot camp.
I don't know who you gonna get to film that shit, because they ain't trying to get lied on.
Well,
Right.
let me say this. I've done several women's retreats.
Grab my pussy. What you say?
No, what did you just say?
What, John?
Did John say pussy?
He did.
Like the cameraman grabbed our pussy.
Did the president of the Deacon Club say pussy?
And Gene, I know we can't name this person, but can they be the cornball?
Oh, honey, wait, listen.
No, you should name them.
No, honey, listen. I'm working up to that. The corniest thing of the week. I'm working up to that. Thank you. I got it, baby. Thank you. And matter of fact, you want to do it now? You want to do corniest thing of the week?
But we should not name the person.
What? Yes, I am.
Okay. I didn't know if that was
corniest nigga of the week.
Okay.
Why would you publicly say? Why would Bambina from New York City, Bambi, whatever your name is on Instagram, why would you accuse Carl Shaft in New York City of grabbing your breast? Why would you do that when you never met him? Let's call it out. And all the women who are accusing men of stuff that they did not do, shame on you. He come to the most shot the rum bum 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 bum. I'm cursing. I'm calling you out. This is called the Bambi syndrome. These are women who lie on men about, especially SA. Well, you can say sexual abuse on this thing, right? Can't you, on YouTube shit? Yes.
You say sexual abuse, I think is fine. But SA is the better way of saying it.
Okay, SA. See, it sounds like you're saying SA like a Mexican. You know, that's not, that's, I don't want to associate them with that. Hey, SA. No. It is SA, son. SA, puppy. No, we're not talking about you. I love the Mexicans. I love the unpeeled oranges. It's such an easy way to eat oranges. But why do they sell them on this? Well, anyway, how do they unpeel them and put them all back in the bag like that? Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Corniest thing of the week. A woman named Bambi is on Instagram telling people that Carl Shaft, who was a bodyguard who I know, who I've sniffed, I've smelled, I've hugged, I've touched, I've eaten with him. He's driven me around. He's been very kind to me. He's a Taurus. He's a good brother. He loves cats. I don't know why. He might, I don't know why she would say this, because she never met him. And this happens a lot. It's almost like the Emmett Till syndrome. We got to stop it. The Bambi syndrome. Women, stop lying on men. Listen. And here's the problem again. What if he had gone out with her for real? She really would have been believed. That keeps coming to me. I have a son, and mothers with sons, fathers with sons, but particularly mothers, because I'm not a man. But Ja, you are. So you know what I'm saying. A bitch can lie on your child. A bitch can lie on your son for real. I'm serious about that. Just because she's mad at him. You know how many hot, this kid said he was a
Creative
hot.
forbid. Creative forbid, but yes.
What is creative forbid? What does that mean?
I say God forbid.
Oh, okay. I love that. Say it again, Ja.
Creative forbid.
Creative forbid. That's what you call God, creator?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm taking that. Creator. High creator. That's how I talk to God anyway. God, creator, creative forbid. I like that. I'm learning something every day. See, an old dog can learn new tricks. The Bambi syndrome. Stop it. Stop it. Bambi lives in East New York. I mean, she lives in New York. I don't know where. I'll be in New York August 2nd through the 11th. I think I'm making some t-shirts. Women, stop lying on men. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but we gotta stop it.
V Smiles going to join that campaign. She will join that campaign.
Who?
V Smiles. That's my sister right there.
Hi, baby. Yes, because I'm gonna tell you something. There is a, come on, HG. Hi, Gina. Holy Ghost. Some people say there is a stench in the air of particularly men of color being accused of SA, being accused, or let's go here, domestic violence. There's some women who are not allowing their children to see their fathers because maybe they had a problem with the father, and they say, oh, they're going to hit my child, or they're going to, hey. Sons, nephews, brothers, uncles are under attack with these broken bitches. I'm telling you. Yeah. Black men are a target. If you look in the media, what's going on? Look in the media. Look at what's happening. Ain't nobody stupid. It's not no coincidence. Every time a black man becomes almost a millionaire, there's an SA charge. We're going to talk about the NEWS. We're going to no, I'm just saying it's on my spirit right now. So let me let it come out. It ties right in. It's a segue, perfect segue. What the fuck is happening with all these allegations against black men with SA? It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. As soon as they get to a certain level, they're charged with this. What is going on? Well, you know what? We know.
V says word, and there are no repercussions when men get acquitted.
And listen, the stench, the smell of that experience stays on the person's mind. So when they see the person, hear the name, they think about that. That's fucked up. That a person has to wear that jacket. People still wonder if Emmett Till did something. People still wonder if Emmett Till, when the broken bitch was on her deathbed, the Cracker Barrel hoe admitted that she lied. The dirty bitch, in the name of Jesus. Lied and said Emmett Till's mother had his body laid out so people could see what they did to my boy. Woo! And here we go, a latter day dirty bitch. And a sister. She's a sister. Imagine if somebody heard that who knows him, who has some type of leverage or whatever, and approaches him. Just imagine somebody believe that who has a way to affect his life. That the domino effect is the repercussions of that are horrible. So I'm going to campaign. Stop lying on men. The Slom campaign, SLOM. I'm a Slom. I'm a Slom campaign. Stop lying on men, SLOM. Stop lying on men. I'm a slummer. So with that, thank you for that. I had to vent. I had to get that out because I'm serious. I mean it. And men bloom in the month of June. That's been my campaign all month. I've been asking people on your Instagram page or Facebook, whatever page you have, on your pussy, whatever, post a man who's been good to you. It could be a stranger in your mind. When I say good to you, meaning create a feeling, a good thought, who inspires you. It could be a celebrity. It could be an uncle. Try to post a brother every day for the month of June and just say what this person means to you. It could be Malcolm X, but you just want to say he inspired me. Anybody. There are some regular men in your neighborhood or in your family that you just uplift. So post them. Men bloom in June. Because I'm going to tell you something else I'm about this morning. I have a problem. I'm going to tell you, young ladies, and I'm preaching. I'm sorry. I had to just take a minute. Father's Day. Father's Day just passed. Do you know how many men did not get a gift for Father's Day? Anissa?
No, I imagine there's a lot.
I'm telling you. And men said, no, I got a call from this one, a call, and she made dinner, and she sucked my dick a little extra long, or she swallowed this time. Yeah. Give a nigga a threesome. That's a Father's Day gift. Go there. Because it's not about you. Okay. I don't really mean a threesome. Sometimes that might be good. But on Mother's Day, you can barely get a seat at a restaurant. On Mother's Day, there are flowers everywhere. The Mexicans are outside with those carts selling flowers for the Medias, for the Madres. In the grocery store, last minute, Walmart, grocery stores have flowers. The mail full of cards, the lines at the store getting cards for Mother's Day. Father's Day, that's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. Again, broken bitches. And I heard some women say, let me tell you what I heard out of their mouth. Yeah, that's my man or that's my husband, but he's not my father. They have kids by this man. Or even if he's not your children, but he's a father. It's just really honoring men. Because I've been a woman who didn't respect or honor men before because I was mad at my father. I've been there. And then I got pregnant with a boy. And what do you do when you're having a son? How do you treat men now? How do you think of men now when you have a boy? You can't think all men ain't shits. You can't think all men are animals that they want to fuck you as soon as they see you. You can't think every man thinks that they want to fuck you. You can't think that about men. Because if you have a child or a son or nephew, then that perpetuates their own level of self-esteem. I'm telling you. Everybody say
Amen.
Everybody say
Amen.
Everybody say
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Ooh. So we have a visiting preacher in the house. And Ebony and Ivory live together in perfect harmony. Side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh, Lord, Why don't
Why don't?
we? Go ahead, Anissa.
Never mind. Sorry, I forgot.
No, you forgot what? You forgot what? The words?
No, I forgot. I should not be singing. Carry on,
Well,
Miss.
well, everybody can sing to the glory of the Lord. Everybody. To
But when I
God.
was a kid, I used to love that song.
Go ahead, sing a little bit. Go ahead.
No, go
No, you
on,
know
G.
some of it? We all know that people are the same wherever we go. There is good and bad in everyone. Learn to live as we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, Ebony and Ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my. Take it up, listen.
Piano, keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
Ladies and gentlemen, my ordinary person visiting the pulpit today. We give you a man with sunglasses, a man who is a combination of, he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he looks like another actor.
He
John
looks like
Boyd.
Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary, possibly.
Yeah. He looks like a lot of white people that I know. But I met him in person. He's a comedian that is respected. Some people say, how'd you get him? I want to thank you, Mike Troy, for introducing me to him. I've seen him on stage. He's electric. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Los Angeles, California, I'm going to give you Roger Rod.
Happy to be here.
Wow.
Happy to be here. By the way, I want to comment on your last segment about that. When you get accused of things like that, real simple. You just walk into the courtroom and you say, I not only deny the allegations, I deny the alligator, and you walk the fuck out.
Is that true? Is that a joke?
It's a joke. Yeah,
I can't tell because when you talk, you're so believable. No, really, you're probably a great liar. You know, you probably are you a great liar in the past or now or?
It depends on what if the poker game. Hell yes. If it's life, I don't lie.
Okay, no, you appear to be a person whose veracity is unmatched. However, I think you would be a good criminal if you had to be.
Actually, I've been on both sides of that.
What's up with the sunglasses? You have a cataract or something?
You know, it's one of those things that I can't stand looking at the fact when you are on a camera or taking a selfie, you can't get your eyes centered. So, you know, I just usually put glasses on for things like that. But, you know, I can take them off. I'm here. There's no shiner. No bitch hit me. I'm all good.
No bitch hit me. Oh, speaking of bitches. Okay, yeah, we're going to get to the bitch part. But first, I want to honor you. And I think you're the first white man I've interviewed on the live. Well, is that true, Anissa?
No, that's not true.
I thought he was unvirgining me. No.
Who broke my cherry? Claimed to be black. Remember him?
No. He's a motherfucker from Egypt who said Dave Chappelle's mother was white. Fuck that nigga. No, you don't.
Okay, yeah. We're so happy to have you here, Roger.
I'm like a whore at the White House. I'm happy to be here.
I forget this man is a comedian. I forget. Hello, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, baby girl. I really am. Thank you for being here. I've having me here because it is an honor to be on your show. You are quite a legend yourself, and I met everybody that were friends of yours at the show, and it was all just solid, good people, all the way down to the young folks that was doing rap and hip hop and the causes they were doing it for. I had a great time that night. I was happy to be there.
Yeah. I'm so honored that you came for me out of the goodness of your heart. I'm glad you came. I'm building something, and you're assisting me with building Music Loves Comedy, the combination where I open and close for comedians. So thank you. I'll be back. I have kind of like carte blanche at that space. So when I come back, and I think it's September, the first week of September, right, that I'm going to have something. Yeah.
That space took off during the lockdown. when everything had to be outdoors. And it's become a very solid LA comedy venue ever since. And since it's right there on Sunset Boulevard, it's got a good name. They had a little teeny incident there a while back. With a firearm, and somehow Mike Tyson's name came. I don't even know. I wasn't there. I don't care. You know, this is just the world that we live in now.
Yes.
And
yes,
on the real,
yes.
talking about what you were about with the thing that's sad about where we are right now and what we're living in right now, being social media, YouTube, internet, is somebody cannot deny a negative. When I run at these high school stairs that I run, there's a set of stairs that's over at the Burroughs High School. And I go there and run because they're kind enough to leave the stadium open for everybody. When I see a group of high school kids, male or female, I go 20 yards out of the way and don't even get near them because they intimidate me. All they have to do is say that I said or did something and I'm guilty, and I can't take that stink off ever.
Yep.
And anything of a negative nature, you can't possibly do anything about it. It's like a big bucket of shit in a room. If you leave it there, it stinks. If you stir it up, it stinks even worse. You cannot get away from a negative. So you're absolutely right in making a point of pointing that out to everybody. Stop accusing people of things, and there should be repercussions if you do and you turned out to be lying on them. There should be some kind of penalty for that.
And you know, hallelujah, I didn't even go into, Pastor, I didn't even go into how I feel about women who are raping men. I didn't even get into that. I have a whole thing about that. How women who are grown women who are, I believe, completely pedophiles, who babysat young men, and the young men have never told because that's embarrassing. The man has to tell himself because his dick got hard. He has to say, no, it wasn't great. It wasn't rape because she turned me out. But some women do that, but they don't get accused.
Well, you know, if a guy that's a high school teacher fucks a 16-year-old high school girl, he's a pedophile. If a female teacher does it, she's a cougar.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And we know it's a double standard, but I don't give a fuck. It's wrong. Fuck that. Because I have a son. I'm telling you. And yo, thank you, God. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Anyway, back to this man I'm looking at. Roger, you were stellar. I never heard you perform before. I never even heard of your name. I didn't know somebody like you existed. But my brother, Mike Troy, I said, I got a show tonight. I was in California. He said, yo, you got to hear this guy. You got to hear him. I said, I don't have any money to pay him. He said, yo, he's my people. I'm going to tell you. And then I called you, DM you, and you said, because of Mike, I'm coming through. And you stood back there as a professional, met my mother, and took the microphone and I became immersed. And not what you were saying, but your body language, your cadence, your timing, your tone, your segues. You're just such a professional. How long have you been doing comedy?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been a comic 35 years, but 6 years into the game, I crossed over and exclusively started playing Black Toss for the next 7 or 8 years. And that's where I met Mike Troy, who is my brother. He is my closest friend in all of comedy. I seriously love that man.
That's my brother. That's
he's good people all the way, and he's talented, and he's got himself a whole lot of hustle. He has got a passport that is cover to cover stamped because he's a worldwide touring comic. He is the biggest undiscovered talent in this game, I think.
He's an icon.
Yeah, he is absolutely.
And if only people know him who know, really, that's the truth.
He goes by Brooklyn Mike, and he owns it. He goes by, I've been knowing him as Brooklyn Mike.
Brooklyn be everywhere.
I met him in, Brooklyn be everywhere. Don't make me talk about that because he and I bust on each other all the time. I will not go into what happened to the original Brooklyn be everywhere. You ask him about that sometime, not on camera.
I will.
But him, we go back to, I met him in the 9/7. I spent a couple of years in New York, and I met everybody that you mentioned to me the other day, all my New York comics. And whatever kind of comic I am, I owe to New York. New York is where real
thank you. Thank
That's
you.
Damn truth.
Okay, so let me ask you some statistics. Get out the way. How old are you?
I'm going to be 74 in August.
Get the fuck. You're a Leo.
Yeah.
You look like a lion with the mane and all that shit.
And I love cats.
Really?
Do
you have children?
Almost as much as I love pussy, I love cats.
Okay. You love cats more than pussy?
Well, a cat and pussy are very much the same thing. They're only around when they want to be around.
Yeah. As
That's
long as,
true.
excuse me, Anissa?
I said that's true.
Really? Okay.
Shut up, Gina.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? Why are you blushing?
Okay.
Can Anissa come on the camera for a second?
No.
What? What's wrong?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm going back on mute.
Oh, she sounds like a little girl right now. Okay. Before I get into that, I'm gonna segue to that later. I keep Anissa's pussy on the side for a second. How many children do you have, baby?
Me?
Yes.
0.
Really? Did you ever want children?
No,
Why?
because that is the single biggest, most irreversible responsibility there is on this planet. And I have always said I am not responsible enough for that, because I never put somebody ahead of me every single day of my life. And if you can't do that, you have no right to have a child. If it's not about what you want anymore when you bring a
That's
child, but it's about what they need. You brought them here. They didn't ask to be here. You owe them everything. And I've always been too selfish to do that. But at least I was honest enough with myself to say that. A lot of
Well-
people figure that out after it's over. Hey, what happened to my life? Well, motherfucker, you had a kid. That's what happened to your life.
Yeah, you are Leo. No, which I love. I love Leos. I don't think it's selfish. I think you're actually just saying this is who I am, and I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't think it's
Nah.
selfish act at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where were you born?
New York City,
What borough?
Queens.
What high school did you go to?
Didn't grow up in New York, grew up in California. My mom and dad met. They were a couple of Depression kids. My dad, veteran of World War II. They met, grew up in Spanish Harlem, and had kind of a rough time in New York, and thought that they wanted to raise their children in California. So when they got married, they came out here and had me and my brother. But I was born New York and then here.
What part of California were you raised in?
Northern California, right next to Oakland, a little town called Alameda. It was essentially a segregated town when I was growing up.
And who did you hang out with?
Both. I was one of the few. We had a crosstown thing. It was literally could draw a line down the middle of the town. There was the white half and the black half. And I always liked the brothers on the other end of town, because my first athletic experience was swimming for the Oakland YMCA, and there wasn't nothing but me and my brother, 2 white kids and a whole bunch of black kids in Oakland swimming in the pool, splashing each other. And we just didn't get where's all this anger coming from, because we were just kids playing. You have to learn that kind of crap from other adults. You don't learn it from children.
Let me ask you a question. Anissa, was Alameda I was raising money for?
Oh no, that was Altadena, and Alameda
Altadena.
is outside of Oakland. I'm in Sacramento, so
Yeah,
I'm familiar with it.
You're
very
Sacramento. I've been
nice.
there many times. There was a Tommy T's up there I played at for a minute. They
Oh
finally
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I played
closed now, but they
Yeah.
still have the Tommy T's in Oakland.
actually it has in Pleasanton.
That's right, in
It's
Pleasanton.
Yeah, I'm going to probably go up there, and I might open for Michael Blackson in August there.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael's
Okay.
somebody I met in New York back when, way back in the 97, before he was big Michael Blackson. He was a very cool dude back then. We've always been friends ever since. He blew up, and he still reaches back and remembers people like me who don't have a big name. I got
Okay.
nothing to love for Michael.
Hi, Michael Blackson, but I want to get to know more about you. High school. Where'd you say you went to high school?
Alameda High School.
Okay. What did you want to be at high school? What was your goal? What was your desire to be?
My goal in high school was to stay the fuck out of Vietnam. That is almost the entire.
So how many sons did your mother have? How many children? Just
Me
2?
and my brother. My
So,
brother's 2 years older than me.
Did he go?
No, we both managed. We went to college, had student deferments. Tell you the honest to God truth about Vietnam and the draft back then. That war was fought by blacks, Mexicans, and white trash.
It was horrible.
White trash was in there too.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
you had to make sure that you found a way to get out of it if you wanted to. And if you just let yourself get drafted, you were in the nom. That's how it went. I lost a lot of friends there.
You know, that's what I was telling some people the other day. They think what's happening now is bad. I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I was alive during the Vietnam War. When I said I was alive during Nixon. These youngins, they ain't seen shit. We went over there and just killed them people for no fucking reason. It was horrible, horrible. But anyway,
I was explaining that to your boy Brooklyn Mike when he was talking about Trump and some of the shit he said. I said, you motherfuckers never lived through Nixon.
Shit. Yo, Nixon was a motherfucker, wasn't he?
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Whoa, son. I said the same thing. So, because Trump is just social media, but Trump is light work compared to Nixon. Nixon was crazy, son. Word. So let me ask you, first time on stage, how old were you?
1990, I was 39.
Oh, you were older. Okay. What did you do before that? What were you into after high
You
school?
want to know what this whole thing happened with? I was an actor. I never thought ever that I had any reason to go on stage and be a comedian. I used to watch comics and think, how do they do that? They were like magicians. How do you just walk up in front of a room full of people you don't know and make them start laughing? Well, I was an actor for a number of years in Hollywood, and I had several leads in movies, B movies. I had 14 soap opera appearances, national commercials, regional commercials, and I was still nobody from nowhere.
Is that you? Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Go ahead, Ja. Look at the producer, the producer extraordinaire who hugs like a teddy bear.
Yeah, that's this was a movie called The Mojave Sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good concept. A couple of fellows put this together. They decided there were going to be two professional assassins, only instead of being men, they had women. And instead of being regular women, they were going to have lesbian women. Now, I think that they would have had a better chance if they would have chose a lipstick lesbian as opposed to a very bush-looking lesbian. And it ended up tanking. And it was 3 episodes, and I was mostly in the second and third. So that didn't get as much play as I wanted it to. They're good filmmakers. They came from Australia, and I think what they fell into thinking was what a lot of filmmakers when first come to this town don't realize is the world does not end at La Brea Avenue in Hollywood. There's that whole Bible Belt, the whole breadbasket middle of America, and they just were not buying into that character. They would have in Los Angeles, but not in the rest of someplace in Wyoming's not going to work.
Well, how many movies have you done?
God, probably a few dozen. I don't know. Yeah, I got leads in a bunch when I first got in town. I was much younger and a little more of a dashing, handsome young man back then. But back then there was a whole different type of Hollywood than there is now. There were independent filmmakers. There wasn't YouTube. You didn't have everybody that had ever told a joke in the world putting it on Instagram and TikTok and getting 8 million views out of it. You didn't have things like the Hawk Tuah girl showing up and making 30 racks on a fucking comedy show when she couldn't make me laugh if a hyena climbed up my ass. But everyone wanted to go see her because she did some dumbass video that went viral. And that's where we are now. It's not about talent. It's about putting asses in the seats.
Well, now. So we can have the conversation, which is on my shirt, because you are very passionate about a lot of things, which is what I wanted to get into. I was going to slow roll it, but let's go right the fucking there. When you say what you're saying as a comedian, do you believe that there are gatekeepers?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we're seeing with Diddy is frightening, but I've said this many times. I was an actor before I was a comic. I probably had the casting couch offered to me no less than 30 times. Never once from a woman. Never once.
Okay, wait, back up. So when you say casting couch,
want the card, suck my dick.
Okay.
Does that sum it up?
And this is all for men.
All for men. If it was from a woman, I would have made it. I'd have found something. I don't care what the fuck she looked like. I would have found something. I don't care what she would have looked like. I'd have found something. I'd have found some blow. I would have found some shit. I would have made that heifer make her into something that I could fuck. I would have done it.
I'm with you, brother. Whoa, my light-skinned brother speaks. Sir, I would postulate that if a woman would say that, they would probably wonder why she never told anybody. So when a man says that, what I was talking about earlier, when a man says that I was confronted, I was approached by 30 men, you wouldn't say nothing, huh, about that?
You mean if I did it? If I did the deed?
No,
got the
no,
role?
no. If you no, I'm saying the men that have confronted you, what asked you to do that, you didn't get the role because you didn't do it, right?
I didn't do it. Yeah.
So if it was the other way, you know how many women would have that person accused of a crime?
Well, you know, when the Epstein thing came out, and whenever I hear a woman say, this was a very interesting topic you brought about the grabbing the titty earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear women say sexual harassment, or when there's the accusations that I hear sometimes coming from women like the Epstein, you're falling on the right ears telling me, because I've seen what men will do when they get in that position of power. So I at least have some degree of belief that what you might be saying is true. But then again, as you said, when it gets tossed around and abused the way what you're talking about happened, then that denigrates what it should be, which is a sacred topic. You don't play that card unless it really happened.
Right.
And that's where we get into the trouble of, well, I want to get myself some publicity, so I rake up this story, and then the next, because that's another thing we have to really acknowledge. Why would that girl did what you were talking about earlier? Because there's no more bad publicity anymore. There's just publicity. That's all there is. You can get yourself a name doing bad shit just as much as good.
Yeah.
And people will continue to pay you to see you, even if you'd known to do bad shit. If Diddy got out of jail tomorrow, he'd be selling out fucking arenas.
Yeah. You know, there's a powerful thing in, psychology where people get a cathartic release from watching somebody else go through something. It's almost like this internal thing that you get off. You're almost like a voyeur watching somebody. It almost turns you on to make sure this person is going through it, and their life is so exciting, and it turns me on to watch them go through pain. For real, there's a thing, 30 men ask you to suck their dick, and you said no. About 30 men.
30 different ways. The one of them, probably the one that stood out most in my mind is we used to have back then, before, when they had auditions. Now you send in performance tapes. We had auditions, and hopefully the first goal was to get a call back, and then it means they liked you, they narrowed down the field, and then when you got to your second and third callback, you were getting close to where you might get the role. And this was it was a Universal Films picture, and it came down to me and 4 other people. And it was all weekend long. I studied this part, this reading I was going to do. I put this time and energy. And at the time, I was very close friends with a guy that became pretty big, a guy named Chaz Palminteri. You might remember him from A Bronx Tale, etc.
Yes. Did he just die?
No, he's still around.
Oh, I love him. Chaz.
Chaz Palminteri. I knew him.
Yeah, I think he's sexy too.
I knew him back in the day, and he and I are the same age. But anyway, he helped me all weekend long get ready for this. So now I walk in, and there's my headshot, and they used to have headshots, a little paper headshot, a picture of you, your resume on the back. Mine and 4 others sitting on this guy's desk. And he said, well, it's down to the 5 of you. He said, are you ready? And I said, absolutely. I'm very happy to be here. I'm looking forward to reading for you. He said, well, I decided I'm going to do something a little different this time. I'm going to give this role to whichever one of you 5 sucks the best dick. And I did a double. You serious with you?
All 5 of y'all was standing there?
Yeah. No, just me. But the other 4 headshots were there.
Okay.
In other words, he was telling me it's down to you 5. Whichever one of you 5 sucks the best dick is going to get the role. And I said, well, that's not going to happen. Should I even bother to read anymore? I said, if you want to, but it doesn't matter. And so that was not a unique experience. That happened.
Who was this person? Why wouldn't you call him out?
You want to know the honest to God truth?
Yes.
That was so fucking long ago, I can't remember his name.
Well, who do you work for?
Universal Films. Universal.
Was he a white man?
Of course. And it was 19.
What year was this? Let's find out.
I'm looking right now. 1988.
Motherfucker.
1988. 1980.
And what was his title?
Oh, she was like the president
of Universal Studios.
Yeah, he might have probably not the president. He was maybe the top casting director. So he was the guy that was going to make the call as to who got the fucking role.
Okay,
And-
what do you look like? Let's get right to it.
I don't really remember.
Tall,
It
Well, it
tall,
was over
short.
30
He was
years
sitting
ago.
behind the
I
desk.
don't care. I
Stood up.
don't care.
He never stood up.
I'm obsessed now.
What was the film? What was the film?
Can't remember that either. This happened 30. I probably went to 3,000 auditions. This was the 30th time it had happened to me. And not the 30th time on the button, but it happened to me 30 times.
So
One
many
guy called me
times.
back a bunch of times when the role had already been cast. And it was this role where I had to do all this sniveling and growl. I was the bad guy in this movie. And it was the come up and scene at the end where the villain finally gets it and he's begging, oh, please don't kill me and all this shit. And he had me coming back reading this 5 and 6 fucking times. And finally, on the way out the door, the girl pulls me aside and says, you know, he's filming you doing this. I said, well, yeah, I know that. I guess I'm up for the role. She said, that role has already been cast. I can't watch you do this anymore.
So why was he filming you? To get off?
Because
watching
he
you?
was jerking off at home, looking at me on the video, growling on the floor, doing.
Okay, who was he? Who was this nigga?
I don't remember this shit. It was a
I think what Roger is saying, this shit happens all the time.
I want to
David.
know the names of the motherfuckers.
If I
That's
knew him,
terrible.
if I knew him, I'd put him on blast. But when Epstein came out, it was like, this is something new to you. First of all, you do
What?
realize that Shirley Temple and her mom got worked the fuck over. Judy Garland, as a child, got worked the fuck over, and they knew it. It was part of the business. It always has been. I've heard it a million times. Now, what am I going to say? That everybody who ever got big did this? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't. What you're seeing coming out of Diddy's is very frightening because it makes you think, does everybody have to do this to get to that level? You don't know anymore.
Well, you know, I want to say this about the diddler, who happens to be a Scorpio. Wow.
I got a story about him. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
You're gonna drop the N-bomb for me, okay?
Oh, the nigga.
You're my designated hitter, all right?
Okay. Yes.
I did P. Diddy's Bad Boys of Comedy. And
Okay.
we did that at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, and there were 60 of us.
Okay.
And he said, the day before the shoot, I want everybody to wear what you're going to wear on stage on the show tomorrow night. Yeah, there it is. No, wait a minute. That's not it. Oh, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm looking at it. Okay. Anyway, he said, everybody, that's
Oh,
it.
there you are, Roger.
Yeah, there it is. That's P. Diddy's Bad Boys of Comedy. John is on his game. This dude is on.
His name is John Logic, the producer extraordinaire that hugs like a teddy
I
bear.
guess
Look at you, Roger.
Look at you.
Anyway,
Aw.
here's what happened. He
Can we
says,
hear it?
everybody
Wait.
line up on-
Wait. Are we able to hear it? Yeah.
That is what I love about a black audience. You will keep it real. Black folk, you say exactly what's on your mind. Sometimes you boo me. Sometimes you throw shit at me. Sometimes you tell me I'm going to get paid and I don't. You keep it real.
All right,
I've
let's
been
get
playing
back to
Black
the show.
Gloves now for 7 years, and I have learned a lot about white people from listening to black comedians. Like, I didn't know we were all named Billy and Scooter, and apparently we're all serial killers. That was till the DC snipers showed up. Oh, yeah, you think that didn't piss off white people? 2 black serial killers. Once again, a Caucasian-dominated profession getting overrun by black people. When is this shit done?
How do you feel watching yourself?
I hate watching myself do comedy. I love watching myself act.
Okay.
It's just like that.
I
Acting,
told-
From the first acting I ever saw myself on film, hey, I'm not too bad. First comedy, I can't stand watching myself.
I totally understand. It's hard to watch myself sing live. Very hard. I don't even watch the podcast over too much. I have a hard time. I'm learning to try to look at it for other reasons, analytical reasons. But back to you. The Diddy story. Let's go.
Oh, okay. So he set, lines up 60 of us on stage. And John, I'm going to ask you to be my designated M-bomb boob, okay? All right. Lines all 60 of us up. What we're going to wear. Diddy was up in the booth at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. And then he says, white boy, third from the end on the left. And that was me, of course, right? And he said, yeah. He says, this, what's the word, John?
Nigga.
Need a makeover. And
To
he
you?
called me up to the booth, and everything I'm wearing came from him. He gave all of us thousands of dollars worth of Sean John. I've still got a lot of it.
Smokey told me about that.
Yeah, he did. I mean, with Spanky, that dude walked out with a trunk.
No, I mean Smokey Suarez.
Smokey Suarez, but I'm talking. But Spanky was on that show too. That dude had a trunk. The dude from D-Town,
Yeah.
you know Spanky Hayes.
Yes.
Okay.
I've never met Spanky, but I know him. He's been on my live before we've talked. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Definitely a good dude. He's part of that D-Town connection. Thomas Ward, Spanky. What am I drawing? I'm missing names on right now. Howie Bell, Joe Blunt.
Yeah.
All of them. They were good dudes.
Yeah, Howie's a friend of mine. Now let me ask you this, sir. What kind of work did you do?
At what time in my life?
Right before you did comedy, what were you involved in?
What kind of work did I do? Well, I've done a lot in 73, almost 4 years. I've done a lot of different shit. I made my living playing poker for the first 17 years. I got out of college, and I would spend half the year playing poker for a living, and the other half the year I was a lifeguard on the beach.
Wait. What do you mean? You made a living playing poker? Where would you go?
Well, back then there weren't as many places to play as there are now. It's mostly in these little back alley games. A lot of places in Texas, way back then, Texas, this little white fucking country boy would show up there with all them farmers and all the different guys that they had, the truck drivers, the truck stops. They had back alley games or private games in little small towns I went to. And occasionally I go to Tahoe, Reno, and Vegas because that's the only places you could play. There wasn't gambling legal everywhere in the world like it is now.
Right.
All over the country. But I played for a living back then. I taught poker at the Commerce Casino for 8.5 years. Not that long.
Are you serious? Is this you?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
that's you right there.
That's me.
What are you teaching? Poker.
This is a game I'm pushing with a guy named Johnny Chan, who was in a couple of the big movies that they had about poker. Yeah, I did that. I was a police officer for 3 years. I was. Let me see what else. Geez, what else have I done? Well, I thought there.
Okay, well, let me ask you this before we get to your comedic career. Women, how have you been in that area? Are you single and engaged, married? And you said single before. That means dating. What's your status? And what kind of woman do you like?
I have a theory that I'm a grown-ass man, and you go from being a little boy to a grown-ass man when you stop lying to women for pussy. And that's a big step in a man's life. And I finally came to realize after my first couple of relationships, the first one, she was an absolute angel. She was the most honorable woman you'd ever want to know. I was a cheating, lying piece of shit, and I hated myself for it. And the only mistake she ever made was not dumping me 5 years before she did.
Wow.
So I said, next relationship I get in, if it goes south, it ain't going to be because of me being a cheater. And I spent 5 years getting constantly accused of doing shit I never did. And then it turned out that she was the one who was doing all the cheating. So with that, I went on to say, you know what? I got a new idea. Fuck monogamy. I'm done with it. I don't promise it. I don't ask for it. If this is where we're at, these are what the rules are. Number one, no babies. That means if you're pro-life, that's okay. There's some shit we can do and some shit we can't do, but I'm not going to have anybody make me be a daddy. That's number one. Number two.
Are you still shooting sperm?
Oh, hell yes.
Your dick still gets hard at 76?
Fuck yes, it does. And if it didn't, the only time it doesn't is if I'm sticking some white powder up my fucking nose. But then, yeah, everything else is
Well,
fine.
how often are you sticking white powder up your nose?
Now that's something I wouldn't say anywhere, even on you.
No, but you said it. You brought it up, man.
Well, you listen. I was around in the 70s when everybody was doing that shit.
I did all that shit. I've done everything except for shoot dope and shoot crystal. I never shot nothing.
Did you do heroin?
I just sniffed it. My father was a dope
I
fiend.
sniffed it too.
Sniffed it.
I sniffed it
But
too.
I didn't sniff it a lot. My thing was cocaine and crack and freebase. That was my thing.
Oh God! The first time I saw people freebasing, and when the shit was gone, they dove on the carpet and started looking for things to throw into the pipe. I said, I ain't even touching that.
When I saw people dive on the carpet, I went to the streets and got me and saw suck a dick to get some money. I was not going to be a carpet diver. No. That's why prostitution became my way of life for 2 years, because I knew that I couldn't be without something, so I had to get it. And I quit my job teaching. I was teaching at the time. I was in such pain from a marriage that I said, fuck life. And I smoked crack intentionally, methodically, calculatedly every day for 2 years. And I was not going to be the kind of bitch that looks on carpet. So I went out and just degraded myself with my body. You feel me?
What got you off it?
God, I was laying on the ground in front of Our Lady of Mercy Hospital, July 1992. And I was just sick and tired. And I said, God, no religion at all involved. Me and a motherfucker that changes lives and makes the creator had a conversation. And God took the taste out of my mouth. I got up that day. I said, I'm tired. I called my mother and I went home. And I exhaled. For real. It was, I had been to programs. I've been detox rehab. I became a counselor, all that. So all that shit.
So you did 12 steps?
I did NA for 28 years.
Are you still in it?
No, I believe in the principles, but I smoke weed and Narcotics Anonymous and AA, which I was
know
a person.
That sober means sober. I get it.
Yeah, I spoke everywhere. They consider me a circuit speaker. I started meetings that are still going on right now in Brooklyn, but I choose to smoke weed because abstinence for me is not for me. That's all. I believe marijuana is a plant and I think it's medicinal. So it doesn't fit the mores of NA, but the tenets, the principles of NA is what I believe. I believe in the 12 steps. I do.
Good for you. I believe in the 12. The 12 steps are good for anybody, even if
anybody.
That's a map for living a good life.
That's right. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Tell me who doesn't need to do a 4-step. Everybody who, if you want to be a decent human being, you do a 4-step. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is a fearless self-moral inventory. And you start itemizing all the things about you, who you've wronged in your life. And then the 9th step is you make amends to the people you've wronged.
You know, when I was sponsored, I used to sponsor about 20 people at a time. I was super sponsored, right? Crazy as fuck. But some of the things I gave them, they still have. And I used to equate the 4-step as an elevation of awareness of who you are, because
there's that word, elevate.
Yes, ding. It says we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves.
That's right.
So it says the 4th step is where we sort out the confusion and contradiction of the mess we made of our lives from the basic text, right? And I liken it to you going into a filthy room that has all kind of disgusting things in it, but in that room is a pot of diamonds. But you got to move everything out to get to the diamonds, you know. But the room is dirty. It's full of a lot of bullshit, which I'm talking about character, experiences, the past. But in that room, because you can't go someplace searching and be afraid. It says a searching and fearless, because you can't be afraid of looking at yourself. And then the amazing 5th step, which is when you choose a human being to sort out and let them know we admit, we confess, because from your ear to another ear, pain shared is pain lessened, which was when we get to 6 and 7, we get to ask God to help you. It's a whole thing anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
So comedy, 19 years old.
No, 39 a comedy.
I'm sorry, 39. 39.
Why I got it after all that, what we got sidetracked. After all that work that I'd done, the nationals, the regionals, the soap opera, I was still nobody from nowhere with no agent, nobody wanted to talk to. And I started looking around Hollywood and I realized every big name in Hollywood used to be a stand-up comic. At the time, Tim Allen was blowing up with Home Improvement, Whoopi Goldberg, Eddie Murphy, Billy Crystal, Michael Keaton. Every time I turned around, I said, these people don't want actors, they want comedians. If I become a comedian, that'll help my acting career. Well, all the fuck that did is give me 2 goddamn heroin habits I can't quit. Now I still love.
Whoa! Wait, hey, slow down, white man. Slow down. My father, named Sam Fletcher, shot dope in the '60s. He got 2 record deals with the RCA Victor label. He lived on Olympia Drive, 1407 Olympia Drive. He shot dope with Ray Charles. He shot dope with several people in the '60s. When did you start shooting heroin?
Me? Never.
Why'd you say you did?
I said that just gave me 2 heroin habits I can't kick: acting and comedy. It was an analogy.
Oh, you see how I believe you?
No,
you see how I believe you? I
No,
thought
you
you shot dope.
misunderstood.
Did you ever shoot dope?
No, hell no.
So
No.
I you know what? I'm gullible for you. No, I believe what you say literally. You have to say, Gina.
I paint
say,
verbal.
Gina, it's a joke. You got to be clear. Say, Gina, did you get that, Anissa?
Well, you misunderstood what he was saying. You assumed he was saying something else.
Right.
John, did you
the
get that?
Analogy
John?
I was making is that just like heroin is an addiction, acting and comedy are my heroin addictions. I'll never quit them. I can't quit them. I don't want to quit them. And I only had acting before I started doing comedy. And then after that, that's over. Once comedy works for you and you go through all the bullshit you got to go through before you actually know what you're doing up there, you're in, you're good. And the other thing about comedy that really was helpful to me as a person, you do comedy for 5 years, your give a fucks are all gone. You have suffered every kind of humiliation that you are unembarrassable. I've had chairs thrown at me, ashtrays thrown at me, chicken wings thrown at me. I've been attacked on stage 6 times. 5 of them were women.
Why?
Because comedy is the only art form that when the audience is not pleased, they think they have the right to physically and verbally attack the performer.
Well, you know why? Well, you know why? Because now I'm not saying you're to blame, Mr. Man, but I've seen you on stage.
Yeah.
I've experienced you. I've felt your passion, how passionate you are right now. I felt the power of your words. And coming from a man of your complexion for the protection of the collection, as Paul Mooney says, coming out of your mouth, it's unbelievable. Because you talk about, which I want you to get into, some very passionate topics that could probably evoke somebody wanting to throw a chair at you. I'm not saying you deserve the chair to be thrown at you. I'm just saying some shit that you say is so painfully hilarious that it evokes. Yes, yo, but it's a hard truth. Okay,
and I just quickly want to say,
go ahead, baby.
Some people don't know how to act at a comedy club. Some people don't know how to behave and shut the fuck up. And just because it hits you doesn't mean you get to,
respond, react. Because all comedians do is throw shoes. And my grandmother said, the hit dog will holler. And as soon as because the laughter is the hit of the shoe. When a person laughs, that's identification.
Yeah.
Really. But a crazy motherfucker will get mad and want to hit the messenger. And messenger, let me ask you this, a visiting preacher. What kind of things have you said that you think have evoked a response, a reaction from somebody that was negative?
Well, I got to be honest, because of the places I've played, which is, I've gone to every venue in Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, Brownsville. I just go where the show is. And I know there's a lot of places where I'm probably not supposed to go. And to be fair, they're tough rooms. That New York are the toughest rooms anywhere. And to be fair, because of me being a white guy in that room, a lot of times that audience is a whole bunch of these motherfuckers that are not happy. They don't even want to see a show. And the
That's right.
black comics that go up before me have been booed off stage and booed and not given a chance. And I at least usually get one or two jokes because they're going to say, wait. I want to see what this motherfucker came here to say.
Yeah, that's
Right.
And
true.
so I'll at least get that much. But then the second that they feel I've stepped on the line, they're going to do what it is that they do. But one thing I know about black folks, I know all about you motherfuckers too. You respect balls. And
Yes.
it takes balls to do
Audacity.
what I do.
Audacity.
And
Audacity.
there's a certain element of respect that I get just because I showed the fuck up.
Yes.
Ain't nobody else white for miles, and I'm here. Whatever the hell it is, okay, I want to hear it.
Yep. Yep.
So
What's been your hardest audience? Can you remember?
Oh, easily. Peppermint Lounge, East Orange, New Jersey. I played that place 3 times. I went up the first time I played there. First one that went up was Chris Rock, got booed off stage. Tracy Morgan went up. He had just gotten Saturday Night Live, booed off stage. I went up. They threw chicken wings. But the lounge was the path to Def Jam. Bob Sumner and Tina Graham were in the audience, and you wanted to get on Def Jam, you had to play the lounge. And that was just like a rite of passage in New York. You didn't fuck around. The lounge.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Chicken. Yeah.
Were they eating chicken wings or?
Oh, they were eating chicken wings, but they figured, fuck, I am not going to eat this. This needs to get thrown at this
Oh,
motherfucker.
bones. They threw the bones.
The
How?
whole damn thing.
Oh my God. How'd you feel?
I survived it. I'll give. I mean, I ain't sucking my own dick here. Tracy Morgan said what I
Okay.
did was.
I see. I got a visual now. Come on, man.
Yeah, you know who I got that from? Your boy Brooklyn Mike says that all the time. Brooklyn Mike
Are
says-
you able to do that?
Oh hell! If men could do that, they'd never leave the fucking house.
Listen, I know a man that could do. Well, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait. What'd you say? If a man could do that, he would never leave the house. See, now I'm thinking about men sucking their own dick. Oh Lord.
Now that's a bad
Oh,
visual.
God.
You know, blame your boy Brooklyn Mike for that.
No,
one.
you.
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenter in their current state of mind, which they have the right to change at any given moment. The iRant Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All opinions and train of thoughts are welcomed here and protected by the First Amendment and the Ranters Union.
What is this?
Okay, we got lost somewhere.
Uh-oh.
I had to plug myself in. I had to get plugged in. The battery was getting low. Okay, I'm back. Are you back?
Yes. This
We
is
got
church.
a warning or something, right? We got
This is
censors?
church. We got a because I was picturing men of God sucking their own dick. You know, it's just because my mind goes there. Unfortunately, my mind. Sometimes it's in such a bad neighborhood. Let me ask you. This is just a little trivia about you. Call it Roger Rod trivia. The biggest purse you got from one gig. Can you remember?
Maybe a couple of racks.
From just doing comedy.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. That's the most ever. I've never done a cruise ship where you stay on for a week and you make whatever you make on. I've never done those. I'm not a cruise ship comic.
The best tour you've been on.
Never been on one.
Really?
Never been on one. No, not. I'm toured with nobody. I just go to the same places, which is whoever calls me and whoever wants me to play there.
So are you considered a headliner?
No, I'm a closer. A headliner is somebody that when you put their name on the marquee, the building fills up. You put my name on the marquee, you're going to be looking at empty chairs. My name is Roger Rod, and in front of it are the words, "Who the fuck is?" I'm not going to fill up no seats.
Okay, let me ask you. How do you feel about your inability to fill seats?
I don't care anymore.
When you say anymore, what?
Meaning at one time there was an effort I would have made if I had the energy from 20 years ago now to where I know that I got to start taping my shows and putting up snips on TikTok and having social media presence and putting up all the crap that I see the people that get a lot of work. I respect it. I know how much work they do, but they're essentially turning into Cecil B. DeMille, little film editors and lighters and creators and taggers. I don't want to do all that shit. It used to be based on if you're funny, you're headline. I used to be a headliner. I'm not anymore. I'm now what they call a closer, which means I'm as good or sometimes better than the headliner. But the headliner is a guy that maybe is a YouTube sensation that can fill that place up for 8 nights.
Well, now you sound. I'm gonna go here. You sound. It sounded a little hate a little bit now.
No,
No, I'm hearing just a
No.
little bit. Just okay. Let me finish. And this is not a confrontation, not at all. Just conversation.
of course.
Because there are some people who, like you said, worked hard for that, but are funny, because filling seats means that the person is either doing a lot of hard work to get it done, and it means more money. So you don't need the money. You're saying you don't need the money to fill seats. You don't want to fill seats.
I've long ago, if I wanted to make a living just as a comic, I can if I move to New York and live there.
Okay.
I've lived in New York. All due respect to New York, I don't want to live in New York all the time. I could have a chance to probably make a living full time as a comic if I moved to Vegas. I've lived in Vegas. I don't want to live in Vegas again. And LA is not a comedy town, it's a showcase town. You have 8 million motherfuckers here that'll play for free. So you don't run around demanding money in Los Angeles because you're not going to make enough of a living here. You got to be on the road. That's another thing. I was on the road for 40 weeks a year for a long time doing all the. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't. I'm happier just doing what I do here, making a living, doing the stuff that I do, and I'm happy doing it.
You sound happy.
I am. I do. I work. I'm going to put it out. I work as a bounty hunter, a bodyguard, a private detective, and I make enough of a living doing that where I don't have to sweat. I'll be a struggling artist, but I won't be a starving artist.
Okay, so you are a bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Private detective.
Private detective.
What kind of people do you hunt?
People whose bail is about to get taken by the court. The people who skipped and missed their court date, and they're getting close to where the bond company that bailed them out is going to have to pay the whole bond if we don't find them.
Are people afraid of you?
It's one of those things that if you use your head instead of your macho and your ego, it goes a lot easier than it does if you decide you want to be a big hero and try to be a police officer. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to get YouTube clips of me smashing down doors and doing all that kind of hard takedown shit. I've done it. I don't like it. I'd much rather persuade somebody that this is in our best interest to not have it go down like that and have them go in, get a resumption, get the fuck out and move on with their life again. It's all about money. Bounty hunting has nothing to do with law enforcement. It is my license is with the Department of Insurance because there's money involved. There's money involved for that surety, that insurance company that bonded that person out. There's money involved, so you go get them and bring them back, and we don't really care how you do it. It really hasn't changed much since the days of Wanted Dead or Alive. Uh-oh. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay.
Wow, we are learning things today.
I am just extremely honored to have you here. You're starting to look more like a Soprano family member, you know. You're starting to look like somebody that I need in my life. Really. I want to thank you for being so vulnerable here. When I heard you on stage, I felt an arrogance, almost a thing like I don't even need this shit. You know, I'm just here. No, really. I felt the thing like, you know, but you're passionate about a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. I love the performance. If I could make a living doing just comedy and acting, I would have done it a long time ago. But I can't. Not here in this town. And I live here. I'm a California boy. New York was good for a couple of years. I could make a living as a New York comic. And I think if you asked any of the fellas you've had on the show, they would agree. Because you can't be a corny motherfucker and make a living in New York. You cannot. New York is as real as it gets. But out here, do you know that there are so many, particularly young white females that come to this town that are little hotties that want to get into acting, and people are telling them, oh, you should go into comedy. Oh, okay, I'll do that. They go to Chat GPT, put together 5 minutes of bullshit, go up and sell merch after the show, but they brought 10 friends. And you get 6 or 7 of those that bring 10 friends. You got a full room full of comedy. That's not a comedy show. That's, but that's this is. Do you remember Daryl Littleton, D. Militant?
Yes.
That he was one of my dearest friends. As a matter of fact, one of my biggest honors in this game is he wrote a book called Black Comedians on Black Comedy. I'm in that book, and I'm quoted more than a lot of people in there. And
wait, hold on. What's the name of the book again?
Black Comedians on Black Comedy
by D. Militant. Yeah. Was he? I never met him, but was he short?
Yes, he was. But when I first
saw pictures, videos of him.
Oh, he was a brilliant man. I love that man. It was a heartbreak when we lost him. It really was. And when I first started doing comedy in black clubs, I remember it was 1996. I was playing at all the different areas, and I was playing at the Comedy Act Theater. I wanted to get on. That was the place to be. And he went up with a little beret on, this little short guy. But I listened to that guy, and he was just brilliant, but he was edgy as hell. And his first joke was, said, I hate white people. I hate everything white. I don't even brush my teeth. I don't want them to be white. Now, the show is over, and I'm walking out to my car, and I see him in the parking lot, and he and another guy named Al Toomer, who you might remember him, they was hitting up on a joint. They said, Rod, you want to smoke some of this? I said, well, yeah, okay. And I walked over, and I said, I got to it, Daryl. I was kind of afraid to come over here. And he said, why no? I said, well, I saw your act. And he put his arm around me and he said, Roger, that's why we call it an act. And we were just friends ever since. And he wrote that book, and some of the stories that I told in that from my experience, because he has a section in there, white comics that play black clubs. Ricky Harris, that another loss.
Wow. Rest in peace.
Ricky Harris was in that book, mentioned that there was a section, what do you think of white comedians who play in black clubs? And Ricky Harris came right out and said, I don't like it. I like the fact that we can have something of ours. And I understood his point of view. But when Ricky Harris was hosting the Comedy Act Theater, which became the Regency, I went in there once, and he was on the stage. I got off. I said, could I maybe do a set sometime? And he said, sit down. I'll see what happens. And at the end of it, he put me up. I did 5 minutes. I had a good set. And he said, funny is funny. You're welcome here anytime. And Ricky and I were friends ever since. After that, another big loss when we lost.
Rest in peace. Did you meet Patrice O'Neal?
I never did meet Patrice O'Neal. No, I never knew him.
Did you meet Bernie Mac?
Bernie Mac, I never met him either.
Wow.
I wasn't around. I wasn't a big enough name to be in the same clubs that were at that time.
Okay. I love the fact that you remember these things that really meant something to you, and for the culture and the history of comedy. You're a wealth of that. I appreciate you being here. I'm wondering, before I saw you in LA, when was the last time you had performed?
I hadn't been up in about a week, probably. In about a week, yeah.
So how often do you perform now?
When the phone rings. I couldn't even average it out. I used to go up. You know what really hurt me as a comic in LA more so than anything else in my career? That motherfucking bullshit phony lockdown. Because as a result of that, we lost the Comedy Union. That was one of my spots. It was a black-owned club. We lost J. Anthony Brown's The J Spot. We lost the Regency, the Comedy Act Theater. And that was it. The shows all dried up and ended. And when 2 years went by and there was no comedy, you had to really hustle to get back into the new loop of new comics and new race. And I didn't hustle like everybody else did. And I kind of fell out of the loop in a lot of ways. And as I said, I'm still here when people want me, but I ain't gonna run around begging. I've been through that stage of my career a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, when Brooklyn Mike called me up, said you had a show, I was happy to be there. If it wouldn't have been him and somebody would have said you had a show and you need a comic, I would have shown up. I love to play, and I love to, and I especially when people put shows together, lazy motherfuckers like me that don't put shows together, I help them. I
It's
want to
hard
help.
work. It's hard work, and I do
Oh,
it
you
from
damn right it is.
I
You
do it from
damn
out
right
of
it's
town.
hard.
I do it from out of town.
And from anywhere, it's hard work. Producing
Yeah,
a show is
yeah.
hard work. That takes hustle that I ain't got.
Especially when you don't have money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the currency is the relationships. The currency, the ability to have to met you. I'm wondering if you would go on tour if someone asked you.
It depends on who asked me and what the arrangement was. It would, yeah. I
Really?
mean, yeah. It depends on who asked. If I'm not saying I'm all that and I can turn everybody down, but I'm also if I'm traveled the fuck out. What are we gonna? If we can be driving around a car somewhere, going to Uncle Fucker's Chuckle Hut somewhere and fucking. I don't know if I want to do that. But if it's some kind of, somebody called up that was, had a name, you want to do this, you want like somebody at the Michael Blackson level or something like that. I mean, I appreciate that he calls me every so often, but he's got a guy that goes with him. He calls me every so often because he's that kind of guy. He remembers back in the day when we were both nobodies together, and he's a good person.
Well, how much you do my birthday party in October in Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn Mike is hosting.
I missed his.
I'll be 60. I'll be 65. Yeah, yes, I was supposed to be there too.
I was supposed to be there too.
Yeah,
I did thing and everything else. I roasted his fucking ass too, and he had it coming.
It was a surprise, and I was down with the whole surprise. I just couldn't make it. But October 26th is my birthday party at Ray DeJean spot in Brooklyn.
Oh, Ray DeJean. I remember.
Yes.
That's what I love about fucking black folks. You will make a show happen. That dude had a show at the diner for years. And
at the diner, at the movie theater too. Remember that? The movie theater?
How about the most unwhite motherfucker in the world, A.G. White?
A.G. White is a friend of mine. He was just here with Mike.
That dude, we kicked him out. He ain't white. You got it. He's yours. We kicked him
and listen, and he only likes black pussy. Let's just say that.
One time I was with him, you asked him this. I was with him, we were rolling to a gig. I said, AG, you ever been with a white girl? Cost me $150.
Yo, listen, he is a Jew, right?
Oh yeah.
And let me tell you something. He can do so many accents. A little fat motherfucker right now, AG White, but he's a friend of mine. I send him videos all the time. A good dude. He and Ray DeJean had comedy together at one time, and then they went their own separate ways. But they had it at the Lindenwood Diner.
At the movies.
At the Lindenwood Diner at Linden Boulevard Theater.
They
then they had a theater in Queens somewhere. They've had shows everywhere in New York. So I'm having my birthday party at Ray DeJean spot in Brooklyn, October 26th, and I would like you there. I'll be 65.
October 26th is a long fucking time.
I don't care. I'm planting the seed now. I hope I'll be able to send for you. I hope I should be rich enough.
I'm gonna mark that down. I will mark that down.
I want to be rich enough to be able to send for you. I'm manifesting that. I have this what they call now the woke generation taught me about crystals, the properties. So I'm saying it. I'm manifesting it in the name. Can you hear the music playing? Any music? Can you hear music playing?
I don't hear anything.
The music's playing in my ear. I hear music. Just ordinary people. For real. Right now. The music's playing. How does that happen, John?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's weird. I can hear the music playing. So this is a crystal. If you're into crystals, hello. But I'm manifesting that Roger Rod will be at my birthday party, October 26th in Brooklyn. But in the meantime, Roger, when you were talking that night, you talked about racism. You talked about how you feel, and I heard it through your humor about being a man of a complexion that sees it. Um, what's happening now with that with you? What do you think is going on in the world with that? Is it different? Is it what do you think? What's your opinion about that?
We are a country that is divided and polarized by design. It is the one thing that they don't like, meaning they are the people that really run the show, who I don't think is Democrats or Republicans or Donald Trump or Joe Biden. They don't have shit to do with people over their head. And the one thing that they fear more than anything else is if the peasants ever unite, because then they will storm the palace gates and knock them the fuck out, like they did with Marie Antoinette and put her head in the guillotine. But the problem is, as long as you keep us fighting each other and hating each other, they'll always stay in charge. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You take a look at the design that they've put that the public buys into, which is Democrats and Republicans. The way I always like to say that this is the proof that it's division by design. There are two issues that everyone has an opinion on, and whatever your opinion is, you are never, ever going to change it no matter what. One of them is the death penalty, and the other one is abortion. If you are on one side of that argument, there's no conversation we're ever going to have. We're going to say, hey, you know, you changed my mind. You're right. But nothing's ever going to happen. So now let's take a look at the Democrats. They are anti-death penalty and pro-abortion. The Republicans, pro-death penalty, anti-abortion. That's division by design. That's what this government is. That's in a nutshell exactly how they keep us always at each other's throats so that they can stay in charge behind the palace gates. That's the way.
So, okay. So, can I get your opinion about certain things? Your position?
Sure.
Abortion.
Abortion. I think if there was ever an issue that men should shut the fuck up about, it's that one. They got no stake in the game. Women should fight that out, and it would be over in 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. The death penalty.
Pro.
Okay. Immigration.
Legal.
Trump.
Another fucking bright shiny object. A bright shiny object. That's it. This has been 10 years. He is the two fastest words to an argument I have ever seen. He's perfect for what I was talking about. If you hate him, you will never stop hating him. If you love him, you will never. That's this fucking country. They put him in by design. He's just another puppet. You think he made the decision to do what the fuck he just did yesterday? He got told to do that.
There is a they.
Oh, the they. Well, I can tell you who they are. This isn't some wild ass theory. 1913, the biggest cocksucker ever in the White House, Woodrow Wilson. He sold the federal banking. Woodrow Wilson, the president, 1913, he got rid of the gold standard and created the federal banking system to the families of the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys. That's who's running this fucking show.
The families, the rich families.
And they're calling the shots. Capitol Hill is nothing but a puppet show. And it keeps the peasants arguing.
So how do you survive? How do you get through your humanity in this thing called life? What keeps you going?
The mantra I live by: stay happy, stay healthy, take care of me and mine. That's as simple as it gets. And
stay happy, stay healthy, take care of me and mine.
And you and I got that same thing. You got your mom that, God bless you, you take care of the way you do. I got a 100-year-old mom that I would do anything for.
What? Your mother is what?
100.
Do you live? You live near your mother? You live near her?
No, she lives 400 miles away. That's a long story how she got, but she's in a top quality assisted living home. And that's a lot of the reason why I got to have a steady income to try and do whatever we can to keep her there. My brother does way more than I do, but we do what we can to keep her there. And she's as happy as someone's going to be at 100. She has her goods and bads and ups and downs like the rest of us, but
is she cognizant, lucid, all that?
More times than not, more than I figured to be if I ever make it that far. Yeah.
Does she know who you are? Does she know who you are?
Drugs as I did.
Does she know who you are?
Does she? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I call
Yeah.
her 6-7 times a day. I call her every day. Every
Yeah.
day.
My great grandmother died at 100, and my grandmother died at 98. Yeah.
You know, it's all unfortunately I lost my dad when he was 77, but he was. I'll never be the man he was. That whole generation, that whole World War II generation, and that includes. You take a look at back then. It was horrible, horrible to be black in America. Horrible,
Ooh.
and still, who was some of them? And look at the Japanese got locked up in internment camps. But the
Yep.
black people in America and the Japanese in America formed brigades, and they became the most highly decorated units in World War II because they believed, okay, things are fucked up here, but it's better here than someplace else. And they fought to keep this place together. Those are generations. We'll never have anything that quality again. We're all too selfish. We're little bitch ass punks next to what they were. They survived the Depression. They survived World War II. They knew what real hardship was.
Well, Pastor,
You wanted a big mouth, you got one.
no, I wanted somebody to be themselves, and I feel like I'm in the presence of someone who is not just authentic, but has no reason to be other than who you are, and I think that's an honor to be around you.
Well, it's an honor to be around you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
you.
because
I mean,
I feel your passion, I feel your goodness, I feel it, I feel it.
I just wish that the human race could live up to what its potential is, but sadly, I don't think it'll ever happen. I know
Well,
that's a little negative. I don't think it will, because you just have to look at history. The organizing principle of every society on this planet, every real estate, every skin color, everywhere, the organizing principle has been to establish an elite ruling class that then proceeds to enslave the rest of the population. The only variance is how much of a facade of freedom they do or don't give the slaves. And the wrong people are always in charge. And that means it's up to us to have a good life that you make for yourself. But collectively, I can't care anymore. I can't, because I don't believe we're gonna. I don't think we can beat them. They got
now,
everything.
now, I totally understand what you're saying. I get it. It has been inculcated in my psyche. I understand. I identify, and as a black woman, even more so. However, I believe that there is a power greater than they. Church unusual. That's what I believe
Got
in.
it.
You know, I'm a woman who did heinous things to my body because I hated the way I felt about myself, and here I am. So I believe that I brighten the corner where I am. I believe love is greater than, because you said that they're in charge, and they are not in charge. I keep telling people talk about Trump and Nixon and all that, but I believe there's a source that is greater than they, or else I wouldn't have met you. And I believe people like you are much more optimistic. A comedian has to be optimistic on a deep level because they want people to laugh, because they believe in people feeling good. You're a comedian. You're in a class of people that I honor, that I think are angels that God created to make people feel good. You know, so I just honor you, brother, light skinned brother.
Thank
And
you.
I bid you love. You know, we've been here longer than I thought, but I'm so entranced at almost like you're like Jesus. Like, you don't look like Jesus, but you know, you have the charisma of somebody who I would listen to. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening.
Anessa, can you come back on the screen for a second, please? Because we're going to talk about our pick of the week, and we're going to close out with him here. How do you feel about this conversation today, Anessa Raymond?
Oh, I love it. And I'm so honored that you're here today, Roger. Thank you so much for your time. Like I said earlier, I really enjoyed your set. I can't wait to see you again live somewhere.
If I got anything to say about it, you will.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's it, definitely for you, Gina, without a doubt. If I got anything to say about
so
it, you
honored. I'm having a show in LA soon, very soon.
Do that. I'll be back.
Anissa, would he be somebody that you would go on a date with?
What's that?
I'm asking Anissa if she would go on a date with you, if would you be the kind of person?
Yeah, I would if he wanted to, sure.
Really? Would you take her on a date? Would she be your kind of lady?
You got to define what do you mean by a date?
No fucking
you
yeah.
got-
Just wait. It's just go out to eat. I mean, is dick
You
on the
gotta go-
menu
go
or?
and have a meet and greet somewhere? Of course.
Yes, that's all
But
I'm talking
What'd you
about.
say? But see, date to me, the French have a great custom on dates because most of the time.
Not DICK, DATE.
Oh, I know that.
I'm trying
but
to elevate your mind.
If a guy asks a woman out, you already know what he wants. You know where he's going with
That
this.
is not always true. All men are not dogs. It's not always true.
You don't have to be a dog to do that.
But
We gotta give up the fucking serve every time. You guys never have to do the asking. You guys should have to do the asking.
Well, see, what women do is we kind of open our spiritual portal to let you in, to know we want to fuck you, but we don't. You know the whole thing about women and men.
Oh,
I know.
that. Okay, let me put it to you this way: when it comes to sensitivities, women have a fucking satellite dish, and men got a coat hanger sticking out of a TV set. Okay, you guys have a whole lot more sensitivities than we do.
But see, the fact that you know that makes you amazing. See, a man who knows that.
I know it.
So, a meet and greet with Anissa, like a lunch date.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anissa. What'd you say, Anissa?
Oh, I just said yeah.
That's so
You're
nice.
in Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
Sacramento. I get up there every so often. You come down to LA every so often.
Yeah.
Okay, we good.
Oh, it's all good in the hood. And sometimes people get connected
Oh.
and no pussy or dick is involved. It could be a work project because I'm going to do something with you. And she assists me. So you're going to be working close together anyway. I would like to make some money with you. I think the world should hear you. I think you're, and I'm going to say this. I am not a Siskel and Ebert at all. They were two gay guys, whatever, critique or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do have a good ear in my gut for laughter and skills, a spiritual ear. You are exclusive when it comes to expression in a comedic way.
Well, thank you.
The world should hear you. You're good.
Oh, you're such a sweetie. Thank you. You made my day. I'm glad I did this show.
Oh, I'm just telling the truth.
I appreciate that. I know you got the real card. I got that.
Okay, so before we leave, Ja, how we doing, baby?
Who?
Ja, are we good?
Yeah, everything good.
Hi, sweetie. So before we go, I got my pick of the week. And we do this every week here. An artist or someone that you think is not being exposed enough, you want the world to hear about them. Somebody you think is extraordinary in any field, in any artistic way. And I'm choosing this brother by the name of he says it, how do you say it? It's Lady Tam's husband. And his name is Mason, his real name, but his stage name now, because he just got his stage name, is a comedian. First time on stage is August 3rd in Comedy in Harlem with me. He calls himself Minister, right? Minister. It's like minister, menace, but it's minister, menace. It's a weird play on words with minister and
Minister
menace.
Mace.
Is it Minister Mace?
I
Or
think
Minister
so.
Menace? Okay. It's something with the M's, but it's Mason, and he's performing the first time ever on stage. And I think he's starting later in life. I think he's 39 and it's 40, something like that. But he's performing. Mike Troy is hosting, and Gerald Kelly's gonna be on stage. And so yeah.
Mhm.
So it's this man's first time on stage with some other artists. So he is my pick of the week. He lives in Dallas, Texas, and he is not going on stage till August 3rd. But he's so excited. So I'm so grateful to be able to see you and hear you. Mason, congratulations for your first time on stage as a comedian in Harlem. You got somebody in this?
I do. So my pick of the week is a young man by the name of Bobby. He's on Instagram, official BFM. He is an artist, a producer, many other things, but he also makes oils and, you know, shea butters and things. And this is his yellow shea. It's called
nice.
Pink Sugar. It's not pink though, but oh my goodness. Nice quality things. And then Gina, I think you maybe have experienced his oil, Luscious Bubble Bath.
Where did I put it?
I don't know.
I had his oil someplace. Okay. See, you know what? See.
Oh, is that
where.
Bobby? Oh, it is.
Oh,
And he's a sweetheart.
Hi, Bobby.
I think his artist name is something different, no?
Yes, that's all. Yeah, official BFam. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
BFam.
Yeah,
Salute you,
BFam.
young brother.
All one word. BFam.
BFam.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
nice young man,
brother.
too.
You are one of the picks of the week. We highlight you. You must come from good stock. Oh, I want some of that shit. Oh, you smoke? So go ahead, youngin. Go ahead, youngin.
Show
John,
the
you have
product,
anybody?
Anissa.
Oh.
My fault, you.
This is his body butter. I can't believe it's butter.
Oh,
And
nice.
this is one of his oils.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, very, very nice products.
And
These
that's
are
a roll.
$10
And that's
each
a
if
roller.
anyone's
You can have the
interested.
roller in your pocketbook, and when you go to do something, you can put the roller right between your, just rub your thighs.
Yeah,
You don't rub it on your vagina because it's gonna burn. You
right.
ever had your pussy burn from perfume before?
Yeah, and from bubble baths many years ago. That's why I don't fuck with that anymore.
Your pussy burn from bubble bath?
Yeah, some sort of scented bubble bath stuff.
Are you
I
that
was young.
sensitive in that? You're that sensitive in that area?
Yeah, I was allergic to something.
Oh, bubble bath. No, I used to just spray perfume right on my clitoris.
Wow.
No, when you sell pussy, you want it to smell good. But
Yeah.
when you're smoking crack, you just spray. And then I was spraying it in the store. So I had to put my dress up and spray my, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, John, do you have a pick of the week, John?
Yeah. My pick of the week is Anissa. She's doing great things out here.
What?
Yeah. She just did a dope interview on the 360 radio.
Oh, John, thank you.
Y'all go run those numbers up. I just put in the chat how you can find it. Right. So definitely put that in your search engine and run those numbers up. Salute to Anissa out here making strides in the art community.
Thank you, John.
Proud of you,
wow,
proud.
What a surprise.
Put that, go to @360 Radio on YouTube and put Anissa Rae new art, just the way you see it on the screen, just to watch that interview and make yourself heard in the chat. Real talk.
Wow. Thank you, John, my brother. Thank you, sweetheart.
Welcome. Congrats.
Thank you. Wow, what a day.
Oh, and he didn't tell me about this. He didn't mention it to me. Usually we kind of, oh my God.
Yeah.
Roger, anybody you'd like to highlight or mention?
Yes. You already know who.
Mike Troy.
Not just him, but he and his lady Michelle are doing they're doing
his writing partner.
That's his writing partner. That's his girl. They're doing a play.
Hey. That's his writing partner.
Okay, it's his writing partner. All right. Yeah. Okay.
That's his writing partner. What?
And I'm Honest John. Anyway.
Okay, listen. Both of y'all are white. So listen. That's his writing partner. Mike Troy and Michelle are writing partners. Right, right, Honest John.
You see what New Quan said? Writing partner.
RIDING. Oh my God. Oh shit. Did somebody say that Mike Troy and Michelle M&Ms? Look at my brother. Why are we gonna call them M&Ms now?
But yeah, anyway, they're doing an off-Broadway play. That
Yes,
is
Lord.
hard to get, an off-Broadway play. And they need to put some asses in the seats. So
July
please
11th.
support it.
July 11th. July 11th.
Yes, absolutely. Mark that down. If you're back in the NY, make a point
Yes.
of going there.
I'm trying to get some of my friends to go. But you know what? The place is filling up. I
That's
saw
good.
I saw the seating chart, and they're doing well. But they always do well. They write well together.
Mike writes for Chris Rock.
Yes, they write well together.
Yeah,
They
they
do that. They do that very
And
well.
she's a good lady. She's a really quality lady.
She's an
She-
Aries. She's a mother. She's maternal. She's sexy. She's funny by herself.
She just got bad taste in men.
Okay. First of all, sir, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is her husband. I know her ex-husband. She calls him my husband. That's how she calls her husband.
And she was locked up, you know.
No,
for those
yes.
years.
Listen, she was incarcerated for 20 years. But she just got out.
Okay.
My husband. I don't know what other man, but that's the only man we know that Michelle is with. She has writing partners
Where can we get the tickets to the show?
on the link on both their pages. Michelle, M-E spelled Michelle, and Brooklyn Mike. They're on Facebook, on Instagram. They are one of our picks of the week. Thank you for that. So now it's time to say goodbye to all our company.
Oh, you blow the dust off of that reference.
Gina motherfucking Fletcher, Jala Jig, Anissa Raimi. Thank you, Roger, for being here. We'll be here next week,
Thank
and
you
I
all
have
for
a
having me.
surprise next week.
Thank you all for having me. Appreciate it. Much love to everybody.
Yes,
Hell of a job, John. Well done, brother.
J-A-H, Ja.
It's Ja, J-A-H.
We've been calling him John the
Ja.
whole time.
John, okay. All right, got it, John. All right.
He been calling him John.
I'm going to talk about your names, okay? Because I got a whole chunk on that you got to hear.
Ja?
We'll get to it next show.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know you're going to come back. I appreciate you.
I will happy to come back. Happy.
I'm honored. Roger Rod, an amazing comedian, philosopher, a passionate man, a preacher, my light-skinned brother. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Care.
Yeah. I'm on my cloud. Dodging raindrops every other winter. Still feeling like a winner. In beginners, they be salty that they barely hot. Stepping over sodium as I head to the podium. Handling pandemonium, overflowing to blow the spot. What's your worth? Ask my Brody before he on the shirt. I seen the pic at one of my Brodies, he's doing 46. Mentally, I'm always thinking about what I'm finna be. Physically, sometimes my situation's restricting me, but histamines dilated capillaries and rip the strings. And since my will too strong, can't nothing intervene. I don't care what they all say, I know that I'm all state. Cause I'm in good hands, dad, now look at me. Solar flare be blind in opposition, but I'm my competition, cause I'm my composition. It ain't another soul could defy what I'm mentioning. I'm never on my own, cause I'm God and I'm infinite. So when I roll up, ain't no point in telling me hold up. I'm on my cloud. Yeah. And when I roll up, ain't no point in telling me hold up. Ain't no coming down.
I was listening to motherfucking Public Enemy. When Chuck D was telling me Farrakhan's popular, people ought to listen to him. Like I grew up on black empowerment. I was taught that the black man is God. Yeah. Like, think about that. A black man in America has to believe that they're God. That that there's something divine just to wake up every day and strive to be successful. All a white person got to do is wake up. And you know what I mean? And we give him that. I'm not giving him that kind of, I'm not giving nobody that kind of energy over me. None. I call myself the God for a reason. I'm a black man. And not even just a black man, I'm God's creation. God put me here to be something great.